Can I pause us real quick?
Did I do something wrong?
No, Hillary didn't watch the videos that I sent.
No, I watched my own videos, but can maybe for people like Kelly and I, could we explain what a Tradwife even is?
Yes.
Because when you texted me we should talk about Tradwife, I called and I said, what the actual heck is a Tradwife?
You're listening to the Calm,
The Storm,
The Whimsy
podcast.
Should I call Kim McCabe?
Yeah.
What are we going to ask her?
I don't know. Let's just see what happens.
Okay. Which Kim McCabe? Why do I have 35 of them? I don't even know.
35 Kim McCabe's?
I don't know why my phone does that. Kim McCabe.
I don't think your phone does that. I think you do that.
User error.
What?
You have 35 contacts for Kim McCabe?
Not 35, but like there was like 6. And
Oh,
I'm
that's
like,
a
wait,
different
what?
number, but...
What?
6 and 35 are very different numbers.
Kim, what are we gonna ask her? Okay, I'm gonna call her mobile number. Why does it say mobile?
She just...
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm calling for some marriage advice.
Okay.
Can you talk to me about marriage expectations?
Am I on like a podcast?
You are.
Oh my goodness. What on earth?
She said I have...
So do you have any funny stories for us for our podcast?
About what?
Whatever
About you?
I don't know. That's
yeah,
scary.
about her for sure.
I don't know.
And the zoo one's X-rated, so that can't go on there.
Oh, man.
Oh, well,
Zoo
I mean,
one. I think you're going to have to
a
share
little
now.
tiny bit of it. But I mean, that is the funniest part, though. That's X-rated?
No, tell us.
That's a
Yes.
no-go?
Go ahead, tell it.
Okay. Do I have to use code words?
No.
Sure.
No.
No? Who said no?
Hillary
Did I get
says no.
permission? Hillary said no?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then I'll just tell it. Okay. So whose party was that, Kelly? Was it yours? It was
Party?
Michelle's.
Oh, yeah.
Where those came from, was it Michelle's, but for your wedding? I think it was.
I don't remember. Yeah, I think so.
I think it was. Remember, we had one for you.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so we had a, what were they, like pure romance party for Kelly prior to her wedding. And at the party, they give you like a pen so you can like write down like stuff that you might want to order. But they give you also this like little pen topper. In all kinds of fun colors, little mini penises. So, and they weren't even erasers. That would have been better. But I guess then they would have got shorter. So they...
That would have been awesome.
So I had put mine in my purse and didn't even think about it. Anywho, we went to the zoo. It was my birthday, and then I was watching like 5 million kids.
Yeah,
I was like,
5 million.
Literally, like what can I do with 5 million kids on my birthday?
I'll have Kelly come to the zoo with me.
Yeah, so I was like, we'll go to the zoo, the African zoo. And then I called Kelly and I was like, hey, you want to go to the zoo with me on my birthday with these children? I mean, there was probably like 6 of them.
At least.
At least, yeah.
At least.
And so we go to the zoo, and both Kelly and I hide our purses in the back of the car like idiots. I don't know why we did that. So in my purse, I have like $5, a tiny penis, and like nothing else. I don't know if there was literally anything else in this bag. I don't even know why I needed it. Kelly, though, has this like giant purse. My purse was little. Kelly's was giant. And she had like hundreds of dollars in cash from fundraiser at church. And so it was like literally the church's money.
Oh, my God.
I don't even remember that part.
Yeah, I don't remember why or what kind of fundraiser it was.
Well,
I
that's
just
amazing.
know it the church's money, and you had it, and like you were like, oh, I'm just gonna hide it under this thing, and like so we both hid our purses underneath the same thing in the back of my car. We go into the zoo. And at some point, we hear my name come over the loudspeaker to report to the zoo office. I'm like, what on earth did I do? And how do they have my name? Like, this is absurd. Like, I mean, I know it's my birthday, but nobody knows special. Yeah, so I get called up to this thing, and I'm like, okay. So we head right up there. And we get up there, and they're like, there's been a break-in of several cars in the parking lot, and yours was one of them. And so we go to the car, and, like, the back window had been busted, like, the back passenger window had been busted out. And there was, like, glass everywhere. And we're freaking out, because, like, I have to get 6 kids home in this car, first of all. And this is crazy. My purse is stolen. And Kelly's is still there.
Oh, no.
I hid mine a little better.
No, literally it was in the same exact place. But I think mine was closer to that door.
Oh.
And yours was like, because you were in the you were in the passenger seat.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Yours was closer to that side. So anyhow, we, get that all taken care of, leave, go home, whatever. And the police call me like a few days later. Telling me my purse was So they found my purse in the bed of the truck that was next to mine, who had also been broken into. So they hit 3 cars right in a row and just tossed my purse. So I get the purse back, and the $5 is still there,
but not
the little penis is not.
No.
They stole the baby penis out of my.
They left the money.
They left my $5.
What?
Well, someone's having fun with a mini penis.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So there's that.
Oh, how did I never hear this story?
Oh, man.
Goodness.
I don't know.
Well, that was good stuff.
That was a good one, yeah.
That's amazing.
All right. You have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
I don't remember the last time I called her. She was probably like,
Who's
why
not
is she
okay?
calling
Yeah.
me?
I don't know, but that story was amazing.
So good.
Okay. Welcome back to another episode. Today we're diving into the topic that touches the core of many relationships, marriage expectations. How do we navigate them? Why is it crucial to get them right from the start? As part of this discussion, we will also be tackling the controversial topic that's been making waves, the Tradwife movement. What does it mean to be a traditional wife in today's world, and why has it sparked such a heated debate? Whether you're planning to tie the knot or you're just navigating the marital seas for decades, today's episode is packed with insights, tips, and a few surprises that'll help you strengthen your partnership. So let's jump in.
First, when you sent that, I thought it was about trading wives. And I'm like, well, this could get interesting. What are we talking about? And who's trading wives? Because I just glanced at it because I was schooling my kids. I'm like, she's sending all these videos about trading wives. Why?
The swinger.
Did you send videos?
I sent 2 videos.
What?
Didn't you watch them?
No, I looked at my own because I don't remember seeing anything.
I watched them all right.
There they are.
While Leah
They're
was
pretty
playing football, I watched
I got there when we were talking about science. I missed them all.
So what do you think is the important pieces of communicating expectations before and during marriage?
Well, I think it can make or break you for real. Like a relationship that doesn't ever communicate, it isn't going to work. But also, if you have no idea what the other person wants or expects from you, you're just going to continually have problems.
And then if you're going from 2 different families and you
yeah.
have these familiar norms and you get together and you're like, why aren't you doing that? My dad did that. Or,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What?
Yeah.
So it's good to have those expectation talks.
Crazy because I feel like when we got married, I didn't even know what my expectations were
Same.
and how to communicate it because I didn't communicate.
Yeah.
I was the one who never talked. I didn't say how I was feeling. It just built up inside until I exploded. And when I would ask him what his expectations were, he was like, "You're doing everything that I need, I think." And
read a book.
We didn't know, right? I'm having an affair with a book, but yeah. So it was just weird because I feel like my background came from my mom took care of my dad.
Yeah.
So made him his lunch, got his clothes out, picked out what he was going to wear, because my dad didn't care. Like, he was a person that wanted to be taken care of that way. And so that was what I thought a wife did.
Yeah.
Like, just took care of all of those things. So when I would ask him, like, what do you want for lunch? Or all these things, he's like, no, like, I was raised to be an independent person.
Get my own lunch.
I got my own lunch. Like, you don't need to make that for me. And I'm like, well, if I don't do that, then what do you need me for? Because, like, that's what I'm here for, right?
Oh, wow.
So it was a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't think we had any idea what our expectations were.
Yeah.
Probably for a couple of years.
Come with time. Yeah.
Yeah.
You really don't know when you first get married.
I agree.
And I feel like I didn't have very high expectations.
Okay.
Because I don't know.
Right.
I didn't think there was much to expect from your husband.
I just figured you got married and lived in the house and just did life. Like, I
Yeah.
didn't know we had to worry about all those
I
things.
didn't know.
I
mean,
have
don't think we had
expectations now, though.
to- Same.
Boy, do they come up now.
I think
And
after,
we're communicating.
Yeah.
after years of having the same stupid little issues, we finally figured, hey, maybe we should have an expectation talk. And then it got way better.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, like,
So.
as part of that, like, checking in, like, am I meeting the expectations? Or are these still the expectations that you are
Yes.
needing? Because, I mean, it's different. I think people change over time and those expectations change. But wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea that I needed to have expectations because I didn't have any idea what that looked like.
Yeah.
And it was a hard road.
So, did not having expectations cause you guys to fight a lot? Like, never talking
Oh,
about
yeah.
it? Yeah. What about you guys?
For sure.
Yes.
I mean, we were married. We've
Yes.
all gotten fights, right?
Yeah, and we've all been married for at least 17 years or more. So, like, this
And no
is
fights,
a big thing.
honestly, causes more concern in my mind than fights. Because if you don't fight at all,
Right.
that's not
mean-
good. You're just surviving together, I feel like.
Or, like, pushing it down.
Yeah.
It's somewhere
Yeah.
in there, and it needs to come out.
Yeah.
And it's going to be explosive if it doesn't come out. Like,
Yeah.
in a healthy, good, like, conversation.
Yes.
I was not that person. I never had conversations. I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know how to do it. And I would kick and scream and say all the things and yell. And I'm like, I'm not a good communicator.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't like to communicate. I'd rather just not say anything.
Is that still the case?
I'm getting better.
Okay. So, like, over time, you grow into...
I'd rather just shut the door and say it all to myself. How dare you? Just kidding.
I love it. No, I think it's real, though. Like,
I can actually see her doing, like, rocking back and forth.
in a fetal position.
Yeah.
How dare you?
But then there's
Probably all
me.
these years, Lenny's like, she's talking to herself again.
He's like, nah, it's fine. See, I did not function like that. When we were first married.
You were the opposite, right?
Oh, man. I'm a fighter. And I will tell you everything I'm thinking. And then, like, we're going to talk about it. I've actually come a long way. You wouldn't believe this. But I'm
you're
actually
still going to talk about it.
No, I'm actually better than I used to be. So, like, we will still talk about things. But I also choose what I should and shouldn't talk about now. Maybe not everybody would agree with what my version of should talk about is, but
We do question some things.
I do
but-
talk about less things. So, but like when we first got married, I literally didn't know how to control my anger. So I wasn't angry. No, don't take this the wrong way. I wasn't an angry person before we got married. But afterwards, all this stuff came out in me because I knew how to communicate, but I don't think I knew how to communicate well. So, like, and he's like you, both of you, where he shuts down.
Run away. I don't want to talk to you.
I don't want to talk about it. I want to process it. So I will never forget one time when we were very first married. We were in our little apartment, and he made me so upset. And I couldn't tell you why now, because it was so dumb, I'm sure. But he shuts down, and I'm like, you'll talk to me right now. I want to talk right now. We're going to fight this out. And it makes him shut down even more. So he just would not respond to me. And I lost. I'm surprised the cops did not get called on us sometimes back then, because I went into our bedroom and it literally looked like a tornado went through there. I threw things. I mean, made huge messes. I got to the computer and I went to pick it up and I'm like, maybe not that. And then I passed.
Thinking, what have I done?
Oh, yeah. Honestly, we joke, but he would tell you, like, back then, he was like, oh, my gosh, because I was a completely different person, because I wasn't prepared for what, like, that looked like. So now we communicate way better, both of us.
I was a fighter, but I didn't want to communicate, so I just yelled a whole lot. And I was like, just leave me alone. I just need to be alone. Stop. Like all the time. And I would shut the door and I would want to be alone. And he would come in and I would like, get out.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not talking to you. I have nothing to say.
I would have come in. You will talk to me.
Oh, and that's exactly what he did. He walked in there and he's like, you will talk to me. We are married and we're going to talk this out. And I was like, I have nothing to say to you.
Where's your book now? Where's your book now?
I used to get so mad and he would get so mad at me and I would grab the keys and I'm like, I'm leaving. And he's going, you're not going anywhere. And stand in front of the steps of our apartment. And I'm like, I'm leaving. You can't keep me here. It was like crazy.
Yeah, we've come a long way.
I never left.
I don't ever remember very intense fights, except for when I threw shoes out the window.
Oh,
if that's the most intense it gets, oh my gosh.
Are you serious? It doesn't get any more
when we
intense?
were first married, I wasn't like, we didn't like yell at
She
each
fought
other
with herself instead.
I just closed the door. I'm just kidding. I don't remember any like big fights when we first got married.
Oh, yeah, but you don't also remember that kind of stuff. Usually after it happens, you...
Does it just go away?
Or
Like,
she buries it.
Oh.
Is there a way we handle these expectation things without causing fights?
No.
She says no. Okay, so in 17 years of marriage, how do you fight now? Like with the expectation pieces, do you talk it out or do you still go and be alone? She is covering her head with a hoodie right now.
Oh my gosh, don't take that off. It's amazing. This is what happens when I can't wait to share this. But this is what happens when she doesn't like what we're talking about.
Okay. Well, Hillary, you didn't hide.
Yes.
You confronted.
Yes.
So how does that work for you now? Like, what are some strategies? What does that look like?
So I take things super personal.
Okay.
Still. So if he has expectations that he's trying to communicate, I struggle not to take it personal. Like I'm doing something wrong or never going to be good enough or all the drama. But if we communicate those things when we are not already in the middle of a fight, it obviously goes way better. So I think the best strategy is to try to talk about those things when we're not angry with each other. But I mean, I don't know. We actually just had something happen like a week ago where expectations came up. And I think I'm going to save that, though, for later on in our conversation.
Okay.
What about you?
Okay. So we have come a long way. Number one, I have learned to communicate.
Yes.
I'm not great at it. It's still not my favorite thing to do, but I can definitely like articulate my words and tell like how I'm feeling without yelling. I mean, sometimes I still yell and things, but like learning that communication piece. So I used to do this whole like interrupt while he was talking, tell him that what he was saying was wrong, like all these things, and I was right, and like all the, no humility in anything that I was saying, and blame.
Yeah.
And so like I've learned to like be quiet and listen, and then express how I'm feeling, or
not think about what you're going to say next.
Yeah, or like just not blurt it out, or but like actually like listen. And I mean, I feel like it has helped a ton in our communication process. But again, I also feel like I've learned a lot about communicating. Aaron's a really good communicator, so I have learned from him to like sit back, listen. And then when I have a complaint, to be direct and clear and not make it like wishy-washy and like, this is kind of what I want or kind of what I want to talk about, instead of it just being like unclear for him, to be very more like way more direct.
Yeah. They literally can't read our minds.
No, and I
never been able to.
That they do.
Never going to.
They should.
Right?
Like, you should know what I'm thinking.
Yes.
Like I know what Hillary and Kelly are thinking by looking at their eyes.
Yes.
So when we used to argue or we'd have a discussion, we never ever yelled at each other or anything like that. But anyway,
good for you.
But
must be nice.
If it got heated and a little, I would get super defensive. So he'd be trying to tell me like his expectations, and I'd be like, well, you're like, I just go off, and he'd be like, well, okay. Mm-hmm. So over the years, I've learned to listen and communicate better, like my feelings, instead of stuffing them in and just letting it go. So I've got better with that, but I also got better with not being so defensive all the time and just listening to how he feels and what needs to change.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if I'm communicating my expectations to him that aren't being met, and he's communicating his expectations to me that aren't being met, it is kind of personal. Mm-hmm. Like it is, because we're not doing something right, you know?
Right.
Or not even necessarily wrong, but just what they need or what they're asking for. So a counselor told me like a long time ago, the best thing to do, and I wish that I could say I've been really good at this because I haven't, but it's making me think about going forward because I can still change things, is asking like, what are your top 3 expectations right now? Because I can't fix everything today, but if you could tell me like your top 3, your most important, that I can make sure if those 3 things were done, then would that help you? And what are those things? And I'll try to remember to focus on those. Because when you have different personalities,
right,
it's not that I don't care about what he wants or that he doesn't care about what I want. But if we don't think the same, it's easy to kind of forget and just get back into life.
Well, and you're kind of doing what you think is the right thing to be doing. And
not
it's
really
probably
what they
not
asked
wrong.
for.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like you're doing something that's wrong. And so we do get like defensive.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I'm doing a lot.
Yes.
Have you not seen what I'm doing?
Yes.
And now you need me to do all of these things too?
Yep.
Like, okay.
It's easy to do.
So that is actually a really smart thing.
Yeah.
Like pick 3 things like right now.
And then once I get really good at that down the road, and that's natural for me, let's talk about the next 3. Yep. And then if you don't ask me, I'll tell you my 3. Here they are.
I'm always going to communicate what you can do for me. So just remember.
Oh, my goodness.
And the other thing is, if you don't tell me what they are, I can never meet them.
Right, yeah.
And so I feel like that was always one of our issues, too. Of like, Aaron would be like, well, I think you've met all my expectations because I didn't know I had any. And then I'm like,
yeah.
Okay. Well, then I'm just going to go about my business because I think I'm doing everything right.
Right. Yeah.
Until I'm not.
Yes.
But yeah. So yes. So this social media, TikTok, Tradwife movement is creating waves.
Yes.
In all of the media things. So what are our thoughts?
Well, I never heard of this term before until I was homeschooling my children today, and it came through, and I knew we were talking about expectations, and I thought it said trade wife, and I'm like, we're trading wives? Like, I was like, look, wives. I'm like looking at it, and then another one came through. I'm like, what in the world?
That's called a swinger.
Yeah.
So
not
I
swinging.
was like, at first I thought it was like a wife swap thing, like trade wife. Okay, I'll trade my wife with your wife.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing.
So yeah, I didn't know what it was until I started watching these videos, and it's crazy because I started watching these little videos, and I'm like, I've seen this one before, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make my own gummies every day for my toddlers. They get up, I would like some gummies, please. Okay, let me make those from scratch. And I'm like, who is this?
Well, and then in that, she's wearing
Like a fancy dress.
a ball gown, and she has a KitchenAid on the counter, and the next one she says,
You know what, though?
my kids want peanut butter and jelly, so
Oh, yeah.
I'm going
I
to make
saw
the bread right now. Like, realistically, that's not real.
Yeah.
It's not.
But I think the reason I get so mad is because I want to be that. I want to make everything from scratch, and I want to look so cute and pretty in my wonderful kitchen every day that's clean and spotless with my toddlers. What do you see? A hot mess life with food everywhere, stuff still on the floor, my table you can't see it, and I'm like, here we go. I'm going to take this. Oh, my sister was here and she forgot her gum, so I'm going to make her some. I want to be that. I'll make you gum.
Okay,
You want gum?
can I pause us real quick?
Did I do something wrong?
No, Hillary didn't watch the videos that I sent.
I watched my own videos, but can maybe for people like Kelly and I, could we
my
explain what a
gosh.
Tradwife even is?
Yes.
Because when you texted me we should talk about Tradwife, I called and I said, what the actual heck is
you
a
are
Tradwife?
a Tradwife. You're a traditional
we are
housewife with
traditional
a linen gown.
wives.
I am
No.
not.
I'm just kidding.
No.
Just kidding.
No. So that's the interesting thing. What is a tradwife?
Yes, please tell us.
Okay, so first of all, traditional wife is
Yes.
what tradwife stands for.
Okay.
And technically, the three of us here
We kind of are.
are traditional.
Tradish.
We
We're
are
tradish
roles.
wives.
Traditional would mean
traditional
no job,
roles.
but taking care of the home.
Yes, but we do have outside of our home things that we do work on. And so it's just weird. But yes, you ready for the definition?
Yes.
It's
Yes.
long.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't even know if I know all the words.
All right.
A tradwife, short for traditional wife, refers to a woman who embraces traditional gender roles within the context of marriage and family. This often includes focusing on homemaking, raising children, and supporting her husband as a primary breadwinner. The term has gained popularity in recent years and is sometimes used within communities that advocate for a return to the more conservative, traditional family structures. The tradwife movement is also associated with discussions about femininity, submission in marriage, and sometimes broader political arguments about gender roles in modern society. That's a huge definition.
Yeah.
That is not what I was watching today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a traditional wife that stays home and takes care of the kids and does all the things was different from what I saw today. Mm-hmm. Do I want to have time to make all those things? Absolutely. Do I have time for that? No. I get the fruit snacks out of the package and I give them to them. That's just the way it is. I can't do all of that. There's no way. It's just impossible. But the thing is, what I don't like about what's happening is they're making it look bad to be that, and it's not.
Well, and
Like, hats off to her. She can do all those things and look
hats
so
off.
beautiful.
Is that her real life?
No.
Or is that her job?
Yeah.
Yeah,
because she's a TikTok influencer.
Yes. That takes
So
a lot of time.
Does she
Trad
even
wife.
have kids?
Are they actors?
I don't know. I mean, but there's two extremes here. We have the barefoot linen dress bread making mom,
Yes.
and we have the ball gown model bread making mom.
Yeah.
And they're both influencing in a trad wife. Movement.
It's a wide spectrum.
It is. And not only that, they're actually like people who dress up on purpose to do TikTok videos because it's their job.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's like Comic-Con. Like when you go
Yeah.
and you dress up with like superheroes and things like that, like that's their job. They're dressing up into a role.
Right.
Right.
I'm like, so where do we fit in that?
Yeah.
Is that your husband's expectation of you?
I think if he came home and I was dressed like I was from the 1950s and my hair was curled and I had the red lipstick on, he'd be like, oh no, we can't have another baby.
We should do this. We should all do this one day and not tell them. Just dress up in the 50s.
Or he'd be like, I'm in a scary movie. Like, what is happening right now? Are you okay? I mean, I think he'd be really confused.
It's just weird. I don't know. Like, I definitely place myself personally in a traditional trad wife.
Yeah. We are
genre.
responsible for the care of our children.
Absolutely. And I think that it's important that we, as human beings, traditional wives, because like I feel like those are it's not real.
Yeah.
Have so much to say and do and offer, but yet we're not in a ball gown with a KitchenAid making homemade peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
But we are submissive to our husbands, and we are not
which is I feel like
demeaning.
is a whole different conversation.
Yeah,
Submission. We'll
not
get to that one
demeaning.
day. Yes.
It's not, we're not in a vulnerable place.
Yes.
Because that's what this movement is. Women are ridiculous for being submissive.
Yeah.
You're ridiculous because you're putting yourself in a vulnerable position.
And you're not working and you're not being...
Who are you? What are you doing for society? And like, it's just that whole movement. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Now I will
Any other
say,
thoughts? Yeah.
if I could dress up like that and make a lot of money, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Same.
Right?
Let's go get our outfits and
And,
pretend I know how to make bread.
Right?
We should totally
just put it in
dress
a
up one day and not tell our husbands and be in these like ball gowns when they come home and be
then
like,
they
is there
just get
anything I
the
can
loaf
get
of
you?
bread from the Amish country bakery and put it in the oven and pull it out and be like, hey, here's your hot, warm bread.
I'm telling you right now, they're going to think we're ready for a special kind of date night if that's what they come home to.
That is the expectation that they would expect in those situations, right?
I mean, I do have the chickens out back. I can
Okay.
carry the chicken.
So
get the
this is the funny
eggs.
thing, because I make homemade bread.
Yeah.
I love it. Am I dressed in a linen dress or my hair in curlers and hot red lipstick on? No.
No bra, leggings, bun on
Maybe
our
an
head.
apron, maybe because I might be needing. I used to have to wear an apron because my countertop was corkboard and it would ruin my shirt.
Are you laughing because you're picturing
But
only an apron?
That's a whole different kind of trad wife.
Oh, man.
What if that came out? Apron only, making bread.
Check.
But then we have Kelly, who has chickens. I could see her being barefoot out in her chicken coop, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Maybe not barefoot, but
Naomi would be. But today, it's funny because in that video, they're like, my toddlers woke up and they wanted peanut butter and jelly today. So we decided to make the bread and it has to cook and sit for 2 hours. And then we started on the peanut butter and the jelly. And I'm like, kids are like, Mom, it's 12:30. We're hungry. Okay, here's some crackers and pepperoni and cheese. Here's a homemade Lunchable. I made that from scratch.
yeah. And like realistically, your bread's probably taking your toddler's starving right now.
Yes.
Like, are you kidding me? You
Who's
can't make the
watching
bread right
toddler?
now.
Who's watching the toddler while you're making all this food?
Wow. I mean,
And how is your kitchen so clean if you have a toddler?
And
I don't
you're
even
making
have a
bread in
toddler,
it.
and my kitchen is a mess.
they got a lot of money. That's a place of work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
That's amazing.
But that being said, so did you ever think that you would be a trad wife?
I always thought.
Is that your thought process when you were growing up? We all had careers when we got married.
That's true.
So I'm just curious because that's what I thought.
That's all I ever wanted. Yeah.
Same.
It's what I wanted, but I had a really good job that I never would have left because the money was good, the benefits were good, and then it was like the crash of like 2009 when I lost it. So if it wasn't for that, I'd probably still be working full time.
Yeah.
You think so?
I mean,
Really?
it was really good money. So it'd be hard to walk away from it, probably. That's what I wanted. I mean, maybe it would have worked out, but
Yeah. I know for me, like, as a kid, I always dreamed of having, like, lots of kids and being home and not making bread, but, like, just raising my family.
Yeah.
And then I had a career when I got married, so I didn't really think that was going to happen because I was actually successful in my career. And then it all worked out that way.
So my mom was that way too. Like, she was home with us. So, like, that's just what I wanted. That's what I knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I just think it's funny because it seems like it's a one extreme or the other. Like, when you read about it, it's either people are... you're demeaning women, or you're like taking them back somewhere we tried so hard to get out of, or it's your husband deserves you to be put together when he comes home and the house to be this and this and this. I mean, but like, I feel like we're in the middle of that. Like, we also have goals and dreams and desires, and that's why we're doing a podcast.
Right,
and that's
we wouldn't
why we
be
have
here right now
businesses
if we felt like we were demeaned in vulnerable situations.
Yes. So we still have those desires to do those things. But, like, on the other hand, it is nice for them to probably come home to a put-together wife. And, like, sometimes if you're home day after day after day after day, we should think about that. But that's what I said I was going to save for later, because one of the things that did come up was he did mention in, like, our expectation talk, when I come home... like, I want to feel, like, at peace, which I cannot always provide that. We have 5 children. But, like...
peace could be different than just being quiet, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So, like, knowing that if my kitchen is clean, that to him feels peaceful. So, if the main living space is picked up, that is peaceful. So, this week we've tried, like, when they get home from school... instead of doing all the homework first, I'm like, hey, let's all take time together to do like the main living area. So when dad comes home, it's not mass chaos and a train wreck. And like, you can literally see the difference on his face. Like, he feels like he didn't walk into like normal noise, loud chaos, but like just the house. Like, it feels nice. And I know it feels nice for me.
Sure.
So, I mean, in that sense, I agree with what they say about they want to come home to a well put together house and wife. And I still didn't have a bra on and leggings and my hair on my head. I can only change so much
sure
at
that
once.
they don't want you to have a bra on
didn't have
anyway.
a bra and leggings on?
No, I had.
What?
Oh, he was expecting that.
He's like, now this is what I'm talking
No,
about.
all the kids were awake. No, I said I still didn't have a bra on, and I was wearing. Oh my gosh. And I was wearing leggings and my hair on the top of my head. But I had a clean kitchen, okay?
Yeah.
And if I want homemade bread, I'll call you.
Yeah, I'll make you homemade bread for sure.
Oh my goodness.
But we've, as women, we've fought so hard to get there. Like, to have all these jobs and all those things. But there's so many women that are stuck in that because our society, it's really hard to live on one income.
It's true, yeah.
So now it's like almost unheard of to have a stay-at-home mom or a tradwife because it's so hard. Like,
well, and obviously the people that are doing it are going viral. You can't. They're making money.
But I'm just talking about normal, traditional housewives. It's really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
But
and
it's doable. It's just hard.
I think too, like if you look at it now, men are literally gravitating to that idea again of like trad wife, because young men are struggling to find good women because nobody wants to be a mom anymore. Nobody wants to have a family. You know, those are not societal things. And so it's difficult, you know, just to think that like that's not even available to them.
Right.
And that's what they're looking for because, you know, traditional men right now are trending towards being more conservative.
Yeah.
And so it's just interesting the dynamics between men and women right now in our society.
Yeah.
But we've covered a lot of ground today. From how to set and manage marriage expectations to diving deep into the heart of the Tradwife controversy. We hope that you found this episode enlightening and thought-provoking. Don't forget to share your thoughts with us on social media. We love hearing from you. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already and share this episode with anyone who might find it helpful or interesting. We'll be back next week with another exciting topic. Until then, keep communicating openly, embracing your unique relationship dynamics, and exploring what makes your marriage work. Remember, it's not just about getting through life together. It's about enjoying the journey. Thank you for listening to the Calm, the Storm, the Whimsy podcast. Follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Facebook, and Instagram. Stay tuned for our next episode. The Tradwife moment.
Life?
Well, if I could speak.
The Tradwife
start over.
moment, you said.
I know. Tradwife moment. What?